elsewhere this week that won't surprise anybody. Harry and Meghan not gracing our shores for Christmas. Do you think did that shock you at all, Victoria?
No, and I thought another thing that was interesting about it was, I mean, it's not been confirmed or announced or anything, but this suggestion was put out there that they weren't going to come back to the UK for Christmas, and I don't think it really gained necessarily even a lot of traction, because it's not really surprising. It doesn't really change the narrative in any way on anything. And, you know, a few years ago, if they weren't coming back for Christmas, people would have read into that as, but we know how big this feud has been, and we know how significant the rift is, and also because of COVID as well. I mean, it just isn't surprising, is it really, that they're not coming back? And I think that's the thing now. We've had so much information put into the public domain that the sort of minutiae of, are they doing this, are they doing that, it doesn't really add anything to the story anymore, really.
Well, I sort of disagree a bit, because let's appreciate how important this is. I mean, the members of the royal family have still not met baby Lilibet. And, you know, normally you'd have a christening for a member of the royal family. It would always take place within 3 months. That hasn't happened yet. I remember Harry apparently made it clear that he wanted to have a royal christening. So it does make you think that there's been some pushback on that, and there's been no appetite among the royal family for organising a royal christening here.
That's interesting, because that leads me on to, I wanted to look at the picture that ran in the Mail on Sunday last weekend that shows 2 photos of the royal box, one from this year and one from 2019 at the annual British Legion Festival of Remembrance. And I mean, the difference in the size, the amount of people in that box is dramatically different, dramatically smaller this year. There's no Queen, there's no Duke of York, of course, there's no Sussexes. It's quite a dramatic change, isn't it?
I thought these 2 pictures really did speak volumes. I mean, obviously at the heart of it was the absence of the Queen. She will have been very sad not to have attended. I watched it on television, a beautiful festival, and something that's really important to her. And then no Harry and Meghan, obviously, and then no Andrew, and it's real sort of depleted.
Where are our producers? We need to review this, our balcony shot from Palace Confidential.
I mean, when are we going to have that? Hopefully for the Platinum Jubilee celebrations, they will be on the balcony, but obviously there'll be some notable absentees. I suspect Prince Andrew still hopes to be there, but
dear.
We'll see.
Speaking of Prince Andrew, Victoria, he's been the subject of more revelations this week. Oh, my goodness.
I know. This is about his financial setup. So this is a story that Bloomberg broke this week, where they had, they say, seen documentation that showed that Prince Andrew borrowed 1.5 million. And this was in 2017. He received funds to earmark to pay that back from David Rowland, a Conservative Party donor and someone that he has known for a long time. And the money that Andrew borrowed was borrowed from a bank that is run by David Rowland's family. David Rowland has also in the past been, it's been said that he paid off some of Fergie's debts. That's what's been reported. And so clearly raising a lot of questions there about Andrew's financial setup, how he has funded his lifestyle, because we know that he's had, you know, a lavish lifestyle over the years.
Is the technical term, it's a bit icky.
Yeah.
Just a bit.
To say something positive from this was Prince Andrew has always been very keen to help the Duchess of York. That I think she accepted a very small divorce settlement. It was much smaller than Princess Diana secured. And I think in return, the expectation was that he would always sort of look after her financially. And I think he's tried to do that, but it has led him into the path of very dubious figures such as Jeffrey Epstein, who paid off some debts of Fergie's in the past.
I mean, it is important because he was, when he was a working royal, a public figure, he's still part of the royal family, his mother's head of state. And, you know, we don't get information about financial setup of the royals behind closed doors. We get what they get from the public funds, the sovereign grant, but we don't get other details. And actually, when this kind of thing comes out, when it's uncovered, it sheds light on things that it's important to discuss. But equally, I think with Prince Andrew at the moment, it is a controversy, this, but everything just fades into the background.
I mean, when I read this morning, I was thinking, can the man have an uncomplicated cup of tea?
Well,
can this happen?
I mean, this is very, I think, small as a controversy in comparison to what is going on with Virginia Roberts and the huge reputational damage that is going on with him and the royal family as a result of those allegations.
And of course, Prince Andrew has denied any impropriety. And in fact, a spokesman for Andrew said, in accounting terms, it was all duly logged and taxes paid and everything went across the books in the proper way. So Richard, Harry has obviously come in for plenty of criticism over his commercial deals, not least of all from you on this programme, but he could argue that at least that's all out in the open and it's all on the record.
Yes, I mean, there is an element of truth in that, in the sense that Harry's financial deals, as far as we know, are all publicly available, sort of, he signs a deal with this person, whereas with Prince Andrew, it is murky. He was carrying out a role for the British state as a international trade envoy, and then at the same time, he was having his debts paid off by a businessman.
Yeah,
so
that's the difference. Yeah, I mean, Harry and Meghan have stepped back and they've done this private financial setup since they stopped having any formal roles representing Britain on the world stage or meeting people on behalf of the royal family. And the accusation is that Andrew was a working royal when these funds were transferring.
That is all we have time for on our YouTube show today. For more royal news, views and videos, head to mailplus.co.uk. That link is on screen now, and I will see you there.